This is related to the writer's strike. This is not exactly a writer's strike directly, though. This is SAG-AFTRA, the Screen Actors Guild, voted to go on strike last week if there's no deal in place by the end of June, by June 30th, which is affecting a lot of the July release movies for all the films coming out in July and August. If there is an actor's strike, that could mean that not only do we have this Tonight Show off the air right now, it's not just easy to send Harrison Ford onto the Tonight Show and say, hey, talk about Indiana Jones. If there's an actor's strike, Barbie movie, Oppenheimer, even Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which has 2 different mutants in the title, all these July movies could be affected. Are you worried about their ability to promote themselves, or do you think by now if it's a big July release, the crowd's kind of already made up their minds a little bit?
I would say I am a little bit concerned, just because people love seeing actors promote movies. Like, we in the movie community, like, love it, but at the same time, we're like, we're gonna see these movies anyways. It, like, doesn't really matter, you know? Like, we know the deal. But to, like, general audience members, there is going to be something that is a little weird about it. But I do think that some of the movies that are coming out, I don't know if they'll be affected altogether, because I have seen a lot of marketing for Oppenheimer, Barbie, and even the Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 that's come out in July. Then you got, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, I think it's called, in August. So I think they will be okay, but I might have to agree with you when it comes to like September on. I think it's going to be in trouble if there really is a strike, because a lot of those movies are not going to do as well, especially when people are going back to school and things kind of settle down. And usually September and October aren't the biggest movie money makers in the world. So uh, I'm very curious to see how this goes. Anything could really just change in a day. Like, we could be talking about this, and the next day it all works together, you know?
For guys like you and me that love going to the movies, we're going to go regardless, but there is a certain out of sight, out of mind thing where if the Tonight Show is not on the air and people don't see Harrison Ford talking about Indiana Jones, maybe it's like the tree falling in the forest where does it actually happen at once? No one is seeing it or hearing it. I also think, though, that people are smart. I mean, I think we don't give the audience enough credit sometimes. Oppenheimer, Barbie, both these movies coming out late July, so it'll be interesting, though, to see whether it does affect box office projections and how many are actually coming in. The other thing that was sort of interesting, Blake Lively had a movie shut down by protesters. And it was with the writer's strike going on right now, they're trying to film a movie in New Jersey, and some of the movie crew members were willing to cross the picket line, some were not. And there was this article in Deadline a couple of days ago talking about how they literally got the casting crew into vans and were trying to drive to locations, and they were telling them they're going to shoot that day, and then they get there and they don't actually shoot that day. It's a whole thing. So our movie sets have been shutting down nationwide. Are you surprised that Blake Lively's movie got shut down, and are you surprised they didn't just try and pull the plug entirely earlier?
I'm actually sort of shocked by it, because I also read that article too, and I thought it was just really strange. I think because I don't know how big this movie is supposed to be or anything like that, but I can't believe that they're still trying to work this thing out. Like, I don't know if it's really worth it. Like, maybe if it was like a big blockbuster movie, sure, why not? But I'm surprised they haven't pulled the plug on this, at least for the time being. I don't really think it's worth it. And also, it could end up not working in their favor if the movie's bad and they have to reshoot it anyways, and it loses a ton of money because it's not going to be good.
I believe this was a relatively small budget film, so it's not like it's $100 million. Sad to see when you see that much money being spent and wasted. Strikes are never easy for anyone across